Kill Switch is Steven Seagal's 2008 film about a Memphis detective hunting down two serial killers. Even by Seagal standards, it's bad. Really bad.
Why does that not surprise me?
Half his dialogue is him whispering and mumbling,
Closer? I don't know about that, man.
while the other half is clearly dubbed.
Nah, he flipping him on, man.
It's not just his dialogue that's done by someone else, but even a lot of shots of him standing around or casually walking required a stunt double. If there's any doubt on if this was written by Seagal, I'll just say it starts off with a woman who has a bomb in her boobs. And yes, it is meant to be taken seriously.
It's gonna be okay.
They have just over 3 minutes until it goes off, and nobody is in the slightest bit of a hurry. Yeah, we get it, lady. You're probably gonna blow up. Get off our f***ing backs. Anyways, Seagal just decides that the killer is in the apartment building right behind them and goes inside. I seriously did not leave anything out. He literally just goes, dude's probably up there somewhere, and then he's suddenly inside the apartment behind the bad guy. Which is when the director lets us know, don't blame me for this shit. Since time isn't an issue, f*** off, lady. We get a nice little showdown.
How's the view? Difference between you and me is you love to prey on the weak and innocent, but I like to prey on sick people like you.
And an all-time great fight scene where Seagal's character teleports around the room and everything is shown multiple times. He figures out which wire to cut,
Put the yellow one.
and the titties are saved. We then get to see the bad guy get kicked out of the window, not once, not twice, but 13 times. That's Steven Seagal's way of telling the audience that making a movie that lasts an entire 90 minutes is really hard. Then he throws this one-liner out there.
Hey, looks like he got the hiccups. Somebody get that guy a glass of water.
What the f does that even mean? Seagal then goes back home where an attractive woman half his age has broken in
What are you doing here?
and is throwing herself at him.
You work too hard.
Did I mention that Seagal wrote this? So anyways, now we meet Joe Exotic, who's another serial killer, and he kills a prostitute with a toy baby. We're only 10 minutes into the movie, and somehow this already feels completely normal.
He's cloaked in blood. Amends must be made.
What comes next is the laziest and at the same time, the most insane fight scene you will ever see. If you have epilepsy, then you don't want to watch this. If you don't have epilepsy, then you still don't want to watch this. The entire fight scene is painful, and you only gain two things from it. One, you have no idea what the f is happening. And two, that is not Steven Seagal. Not only does his weight change from frame to frame, but so does his hair color. Just look how insulting this is. The guy has the stunt double in a headlock. The movie then tries to convince us that it really is Steven by cutting away to him just standing there by himself. It does this multiple times. At this point, is it even fair to call him a stunt double? Most of these aren't even stunts.
Let's double play.
Steven Seagal's involvement in this scene is literally just this. They play this exact split second of him a total of 20 times during the fight, 14 normally, 3 times in reverse, and 3 times mirrored. But whatever, it's Steven Seagal's movie, and if he doesn't care, then why should we? Anyways, the guy who set the booby trap at the beginning of the movie is let out on appeal.
The witness refused to testify and the Supreme Court overturned it. They found the excessive force used by Detective King unconstitutional and the DNA evidence to be suspect.
Which aren't how appeals work at all, but I guess that's what we're going with. Anyways, we're supposed to believe that Fatlock made a breakthrough and decoded this note that Joe Exotic left at one of his murders.
I broke the code.
But he obviously just made it up. The exact same symbols used in the exact same order somehow mean completely different things.
I can read the words. I just don't know what he's saying.
Because you up. Whatever. Seagal shows us how amazing of a detective he is by having someone just randomly walk up to him and tell him what the note means.
Southern Death Threat.
What's that?
That line you wrote down, it's from their song.
So he tracks down the guy who wrote the song, who also notices Seagal and leaves. As he's driving away, Seagal just starts shooting at him. What the f***? He has no evidence that this is the killer, and he's not committing any crimes. Oh, but it gets even dumber. While trying to avoid gunfire, he crashes his car, which then explodes for no reason. Then the guy just gets out and is completely fine. Okay, while all that sounds ridiculous, the movie more than makes up for it with this incredible chase sequence where we get to see the most badass turn 3 times. Wow! We then get a lot more teleporting Steven Seagal, where they clearly just cut out as many frames as possible because of how embarrassingly long it takes him to run down a hallway. And just like in the fight scene, he is so lazy that they had to play the exact same part multiple times in order to finish the scene. We do get this great moment though.
Get back! MPD! Close the door!
No idea why you had to point your gun at the lady and her child, but I like your style, sir. Anyways, this scene drags on for way too long and finally ends when the bad guy realizes it's Steven Seagal, and if he just walks with purpose, he will never catch him. Luckily, for no reason at all, his wallet just falls out of his pocket. More excellent detective work, Seagal. We're then treated to a very important scene of Seagal's girlfriend trying to talk to him while he completely blows her off.
I wanted to talk to you.
Okay.
Nights has an opening.
Okay.
I was thinking of maybe changing shifts, something different. Just wanted to check in with you first, see what you thought. This move, it'll help me become a detective. Like you.
No, you should go for it.
I am so glad we got to be a part of that. There's a whole story about Seagal finding a cannibal eating a clown that I just really don't want to go into. Just try and remember who wrote the movie. Seagal's then hanging out enjoying a coffee when Joe Exotic randomly walks through the door. Things just really seem to work out for him. He confronts him and they literally have a slap fight that goes on for way too long.
Like this.
I promise I did not edit this next part in. They really expect you to believe that he's inside the storage closet here.
This is fun.
I really appreciate you hanging in there. I promise we're almost done. You remember the titty bomber, right? Well, he kills Seagal's girlfriend, and they have another terrible fight scene where Seagal's stunt double throws the bad guy through a dresser, a lamp, a vase, a glass table, a chair, another glass table, another dresser, and a third glass table. Then he gives us the dumbest line in the entire movie.
You've killed me. How's she in hell?
You hear the sirens coming, and they'll be here any second. So what does he do? He writes an entire letter explaining how nobody can handle his genius and that he's out. So that's the end of the movie, right? No, of course not. That would actually wrap things up in a very stupid but semi-coherent way, and that's just not his style. It turns out Seagal has had a family and kids the entire time. What? This makes zero sense. You know what? F it. This is Seagal. I'm not even surprised by this. Or the fact that he thought him checking out the nanny was something he had to include. Seagal, you're a f***ing creep.